We are gonna make bread. Couple tablespoons of yeast. Usually do about a tablespoon of sugar. A little bit of salt. 1 cup of warm water. And give it a good shake, mix it all up. We're gonna let that sit for about 10 minutes. All right, so it's sat for about 10 minutes. It's got a nice little froth to it. It's time for our flour. I start with just about 2 cups, and then I'll add to it as I need to. So I just mix it by hand. You don't need a bread machine or even a mixer, honestly. You can do all this by hand. So pretty much if you have a bowl, you can make bread. All right, so you can knead it for about 10 minutes. Your bowl should look like that when you're done. You just add flour until it all sort of pulls off the bowl. You're left with this, and then you just use the palm of your hand and fold it. A little bit of oil. I drop it in top first, give it a spin, flip it over, give it a shake. I turned the oven on briefly, so the temperature in the oven is like 100 degrees. Maybe slightly more. All right, so the dough's been in for about 20 minutes. This is what it looks like. I'm gonna turn it out in a few more minutes. I'm gonna let it rise for probably about another 5 or so minutes. All right, now I'm gonna just roll this out. As you can see, I put a little bit of olive oil down on the pan, and that's just gonna help me flip this out. Again, not a professional, but you can sort of figure this one out. Just go ahead and fit it into the corners. This is a fairly decent sized pan. You can really use whatever you want. We've used smaller pans in the past. Gonna let that back in the oven, let that rise just a little bit longer. And then I'm gonna add some spices and probably a little more oil, and then we'll make dinner. All right, so we've let that rise a little bit. I took some, this is actually pizza sauce that we used the other night. So I just do a nice little dusting of sauce. Sometimes we don't put sauce on it, other times we do. Tonight I'm putting sauce on it. Not trying to cover the whole thing, but give it a nice decent covering. A little bit of basil. A little bit of garlic salt. That's our dog. She likes to bark every time somebody walks by. Sometimes the neighborhood cats like to bark. She likes to bark at the neighborhood cats rather. She makes cooking in the kitchen, making videos extra fun. Little oregano. I'm gonna go ahead and throw that in the oven. I'm gonna do the oven's preheated to 400. I like to add a little bit more olive oil on top, and then some fresh pecorino romano to it. a little bit. No idea how long it takes. Gonna put it in until it looks good and then I'll take it out. All right, I'm good with that. I'm just gonna slide this out onto this cutting board. I'm gonna let it rest. We've got tortellini in water right now, and we're gonna eat in a few. All right, then go ahead and cut it into strips with a serrated knife. You don't have to use a serrated. Obviously, you can use whatever you want, and enjoy. Thanks for cooking with me tonight. Tune in for the next Quarantine Cooking with Zach.